Okay, all right. Well, the sun is shining, temperature's great out there, but that's not going to stop me from getting some much needed SQL practice in here. So we come over here. I'm going to be utilizing Steel Data. It's an awesome website to hone in on your Python skills, SQL skills, and I am going to be doing some challenge questions that are going to be making use of these tables here. We've got a teams table, a players table, and matches. And down here, I've already got the schema put into the database. And of course, we've got here 10 questions. Now, I may not get through all 10 of these questions, but I'm going to do my best to get through at least a few of them. And of course, being that I'm going to kind of talk my way through these, just kind of a good way to get in some of my daily SQL practice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going ahead and delete that. So I'm going to start from the beginning. And let's see here. So I'm going to come over here. What are the names? We're going to start off with number 1. And of course, it's asking, what are the names of the players whose salary is greater than $100,000? Okay, so if I come over here, there we go. I'm going to pull this over here a little bit. And then put that over here. Okay, I think I should be able to see that fine. All right. So all it's asking are for players who make more than 100,000. Okay, so whenever writing SQL code, you want to try to make it as readable as possible. So I like to put the columns I'm selecting in the next row and indent it. And so I'm just going to be playing player name. And I'm going to go ahead and put salary so we can actually see that we are getting only those players that make more than 100,000. Okay. And then, so now we're going to have to use the where clause because we have to filter our data to only retrieve those that make our set criteria, where salary is greater than 100,000. And then if I hit execute, so as you can see, we've got all of these players who make more than 100,000. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the salary out because it's just asking for the players. So I hit execute. And there we have it. That takes care of question number 1. I'm going to go ahead and comment it out. Okay, comment it out. All right, so number 2. What is the team name of the player with player ID number 3? Okay, so we need the team name. So we have our team names over here. And then player ID over here is 3. And it lists the team ID. So we know that, we can just obviously we can go over here. We can see that player ID is number 3. The team ID is number 3. If we look over here, SK Telecom T1. Okay, well, if you have like thousands upon thousands of rows of data, you're not going to be able to do that. But we know what the answer should be. So that's what should be returned. So we are basically going to be doing a join. Yes, this is going to be a classic join. Okay, so here we go. Yes, one of my favorites. Okay, so select, and then we're going to look for the team name. And then if we go ahead and we're going to go, so we're going to go ahead from teams. And then what we have to do now, actually make sure teams. And then this is where we have to do our join. Join. We're going to go ahead and join players. So I'm going to come down here. Players on. And so what this is saying is, so this is a foreign key. And it's referencing the primary key of the teams table. So whenever having a good understanding of what primary and foreign keys will be essential, especially when it comes to doing multiple joins. So we know that we have to match this to this column over here. So that's what we do. Join players. So we're joining this table players on players.team ID. This is the foreign key on teams.team ID. And hopefully we execute that up, we gotta, let's see. I forgot to put my equal sign. You gotta put equal sign. There we go. Okay, let's fix that. All right. Oops, there we go. Select team name, but we just want. Okay, but it's asking for the player ID 3. So we have to do a little bit of a where clause here. Okay. So if we do. And we do where for players dot player ID is equal to 3. Okay. But yeah, like I mentioned, I always like to try to make my SQL code as legible as possible. Okay, so equal to 3. Let's see if I execute that. SK Telecom T1. All right, cool. We got that. But I just want to try something here. I want to see what happens if I put this up here. If I cut, and I'm going to put it before the join, and let's see what happens. I'm just kind of curious. See, that's all part of whenever you're. Make sure I get rid of this. Whenever you're learning or you're practicing, you want to experiment, because when you experiment and you're willing to make errors, that's when you really learn. Okay, so let's see what happens if I execute here. Yeah, see, incorrect syntax near the keyword join. Yeah, so we see. Yeah, so that's what it doesn't like. It doesn't like, you have to put, because it's like the where clause, it's filtering the data. So first, I mean, you're retrieving from what table, so it would only make sense that like, you got to figure out what tables you're selecting from, and then you can apply the filter. You can't apply a filtering before you're selecting from whatever data you're selecting from. It just wouldn't make any sense. And so that's another key thing that's really important is how you're typing the query is not the same way that it's actually being executed. Okay, so let's just go ahead. So yeah, see, incorrect. It's just showing us incorrect syntax near there. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut that. So hit cut, and then put it over there, and then let's see, put it over here. Okay, then let's see, paste. All right, cool. And we hit execute. All right, SK Telecom T1. Cool. All right, so that takes care of query number 2. Yeah, steal data. This will get you those skills of steel when it comes to developing those SQL skills. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, what is the total number of players in each team? Ooh, this is getting a little. So you're going to have to use some aggregate function here. Count the total number of players in each team. Okay, so as we can see here, so what we're going to have to do here, the total number of players in each team. So what we can do is come down here. So we're going to go ahead and select, let's see, we're going to do team name. Let's go ahead and do team name. Got to make sure team name, and then count. We're going to do, so yeah, so count, we're going to do count player. Let's just do count player ID from, and then we're going to do players. And then once again, we're going to have to join teams dot. My battery connector is wearing out on me in this computer. Yeah, I've had this computer for a few years now, and it's getting time to get a new computer, unfortunately. But all right, so teams. Okay, so let me get my train of thought back here. So teams dot team ID. I gotta make sure I put my from players join teams on teams dot Okay, so let's see. Okay, but because I've got an aggregate function here, I am going to have to make sure that I add my group by team name, and let's go ahead and order by. I'm going to go ahead and use an alias there. Count. Let's just do name account. And my keyboard is not responding properly. Number of player. Okay, number of players. And we're going to order by number of players descending. Alright, let's see what happens here. Oh, I got a team that. Let's see. Teams. There we go. See, like, okay. Teams, got it. Okay, so we got the team name here. Number of players, 3. So all of them have 3 players. Okay. So yep, all of them got 3 players. Okay, so let's see, the next question. So that's number 3. All right, so let me go ahead and highlight it out. Highlight. Okay, what's the next one asking for? Okay, what is the team name and captain name of the team with team ID number 2? Okay, so we want the team name and we want the actual captain name of team ID number 2. So here we've got team ID number 2. Captain ID is number 2. So I'm guessing that that's referring to the player ID. That would make sense. So the captain ID is going to be, so I'm guessing that's who we're going to want to return. So it's asking for the team name and captain name. Okay, so whenever doing queries, always break it down. Break it down into smaller steps. Okay, so what's it asking for? It's asking for the team name, and the player name, because that's who is at player name. Okay, so player name, let's see, so captain ID. What is the team name and captain name of the team with ID number 2? Okay. So we want so basically we want the final answer is going to be Fnatic. Yeah, Fnatic. And the captain is going to be JW. So that should be our result. Should be Fnatic JW. Okay, so this is where we just have to kind of break it down into small steps here. Okay, so team name, player name. Okay, I'm going to come down here. And then team name, the captain name. Okay, team and the captain name. Okay. So we want select team ID, captain ID. Okay, so player name from teams. Join. And then we got, so we're going to join players on the team. Okay, so let's see what happens when we select, okay, if I hit. Okay, so we got the team name and the player name. Okay, so now all I want is the team ID. So we just want, so all we were looking for is the, let's see, we're looking for the, let's see, where team ID equals 2. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Ambiguous column. Oh, T. Ambiguous, because I got to make sure I put my teams that team ID is equal to 2. Okay, so we got Fanat. Okay, so all I want is JW. All I want is the captain. Okay, so I just want the captain. And the captain ID. I just want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Okay, and so team name and captain ID. Okay, so if I do captain ID. And captain, let's see, ID is equal to 2. Let's see what happens if I click on that. Let's see what happens. No, I'm still getting the same. See, this is going to be a little challenging because all I want to do is I just want the captain only. I don't want the other players. Oh, what am I? Oh, let's try this. So I'm not getting any result. Okay, so I'm not getting any results. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm getting team captain ID. Okay, so let me go ahead and take this out here. Okay, so all I want is a captain name. Okay, I just want the captain name. Where team ID equals 2. Let's try that. And captain ID is equal to player ID. Let's try that and see what happens. There we go. Woo! Yes! So what I did here is to get it to where it only returned the captain was I had to compare the player ID with the captain ID and only return the value if it was equal. Without doing this, it was returning those other players as well. So we can double check that. We have our team here, team number 2. The captain ID is number 2. The player ID, which is 2 here, JW. Yep, team name Fanatic and JW. Woo, yeah. All right, that was a little bit challenging. See, that's kind of why I disagree when people say that SQL is not really coding. It may not be like in a traditional sense like Java, JavaScript, Python, C++, but there is a lot of logic involved. I mean, a lot of logic and being able to figure out different ways to come up with the same answer. So there is a high amount of reasoning and logic involved with SQL. So that's kind of why I feel like if you're good at coding, you'd be really good at SQL. Okay, so we come over here. So that takes care of number 4. All right. Okay, so here we go. Number 5. What are the players' names? All right, what are the players' names and their roles in the team with team ID of equals 1? Okay, so we want the player names and their roles of team ID 1. Okay, so we just want the role. So this should be pretty straightforward. And a team ID, just making sure I do this in the with team ID number 1. Oh, this is pretty straightforward. This does not look like it's going to require a join. So it's going to be selecting from one table. And then we're going to do player name, and then we've got the role from players, and then of course we got to use a where clause to filter our results where team ID is equal to 1. Yes, team ID equals to 1. And let's see what I got here. So yeah, we got Shroud, Castle 9, and Rifler AWP. Cool, nice. So we have, yep, just kind of checking it. So the reason why they make, when a lot of these challenges use like smaller data sets like this, is so that you can actually check your work. I mean, that's my reasoning. I mean, if I were to create a challenge, a SQL challenge, yeah, I wouldn't make like 100 rows of data, because you want to be able to check your data so that you can see if you're actually doing it correctly. So that's why you don't really see that many rows of data, because it's, when you're learning, you want to make sure that you're getting to the correct answer, but you want to kind of be able to look back and be like, oh, okay, did I actually get the correct answer? And so, yeah, and so I'm coming back over here at matches. So, yep, we got through question number 5. Over halfway done there, guys. Over halfway. Woo, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is definitely a lot of fun. Okay, number 6. What are the team names and the number of matches they have won? Ooh, okay. So winner ID. All right, so we got match I. Ooh, this is going to be. And the number of matches they have won. Okay, so I know this is kind of hard to see. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. Okay, so we've got the teams here. We got, okay, so we got the team ID. So that's the match ID. That's the team ID. Team 2 ID. And then the winner ID. I'm just making sure. Okay, so basically the winner is referring back to this. So basically the winner ID, team 1 won this one. Team 1 won that one as well. I'm just making sure that, so when I do the query, okay, so score. Okay, so winner ID, so pretty much if I come back over here. Okay, so what are the team names and number of matches they have won? Okay, so this is going to be another another join, and using some aggregate, the aggregate function of count. Okay, so let's see, winner ID, match ID. So we get the team ID. So that's our foreign key. These are our foreign keys, referencing the primary key of that. Okay, so select team name, count, and then we want to count winner ID. Actually, let me do this. I'm gonna try a different match ID from, we get T, and then we get join matches on team dot make sure I got teams dot team ID is equal to matches okay, so let's see. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, matches on team dot teams ID equals let's see. Okay, this is going to be interesting because there's team ID and team ID number 2. So it looks like, oh, wait a sec. I'm trying to think here. I'm going to try something here. Okay. All right, so yeah, matches on is equal to teams at team ID. And then we got to make sure group by team name. I'm just experimenting right now. Okay, now column name. Okay, so that's games 1. Okay, games, but I gotta make sure I put games 1. Okay, games 1. Alright, now let's see what happens if I put winner ID. I'm just gonna put winner ID. I should get 31141. Do I get the same thing? Yeah, I still get the same thing. Okay, so games 1. Okay, so let me go ahead and just give myself some space. Okay, team name. Yes, I want to count winner ID. So yeah, basically what I'm doing here is it's looking like, because I am matching on the winner ID, because it's the same data type, so I'm guessing that's also referencing the team ID, because that would make sense. The winner ID is also referencing the team ID. Okay, so we're going to find out. Group by team name, and then we're going to order by games 1. Let's see what happens if I get. So it looks like SK Telecom has won the most games. So we can check that. So we get Cloud9 has 3 and SK Telecom has 4 ones. The rest of them only have 2. So SK and Cloud. So SK number 1, Cloud number 2. Okay. So we come back over here. SK Telecom is team ID number 3. So we have 1 3, 2 3, 3 3s, 4 3. Yep. And then Cloud9 we should have 3 ones. 1, 2, and 3. And then of course the rest have only got 1 win. And then Team Liquid only has 1 win. And then G2 Sports only has 1 win. So yep, looks like that was successfully queried. So the team name along with the games won. Whew, okay, so definitely have to think a little bit on that one, but that's why it's always good to practice every day. Devote at least a half hour if you have the time. Do an hour a day. Okay, that was number 6. All right. Ooh, yeah. Okay, here we go. That shouldn't be too bad. What is the average salary of players in teams with the country USA? In teams with the average. Ooh, okay. Ooh, yeah. All right. Okay, which team won the most matches? Okay, so what can we do here? Okay. Actually, yeah. So what is the average salary of players in team? Okay, so here we go. Okay. Select. And then we're going to do, what is the average salary of players in teams with the country USA? Okay, so So all it's asking is for average salary. Actually, what I'm going to do here, let's see, average. So actually, I'm going to actually do a little step here. I'm going to do select player name. From, okay, cool, all right. Okay, it's a team ID. Okay, so we got player name, so Shroud, yep. So we got Shroud. Stewie. I'm just doing a check here. And then we got Castle 9 is Team USA. Felix, where's Felix? Yep, he's Team USA. KL34, what's KL34? Yep, Team USA. And Harry, Team USA. Okay, cool. All right. So it looks like we got all our players. So now all it's asking for is the average salary. So all I'm going to do now is hit average salary. And it is 97,000. Okay, cool. For a country, because average salary from players. And then what's interesting is I'm just kind of going a little bit. I'm going to do team name. Team name. Ah, forgot to put a comma there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's the average salary of all the teams in Cloud 9, which is of course a USA team, but it's asking for the average salary of players in it. So it's asking the average salary of players in the teams with country USA. So I'm guessing it's just asking for the average salary. But then it is kind of vague, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it at this. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like this, because either way, I'm getting the average. But let's go ahead and give it a column name here. So average salary. So that's the team name, and that's the US. These are both the USA. Yep, Cloud9's USA, Team Liquid's USA. Yep. All right, so we took care of number 7. Let's go ahead and highlight that out. Which team won the most matches? Aha! So if I come over here, I'm going to take this over here, select, okay, this is going back to our original query up here. Copy, and then if I come down over here, and let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and deselect that, and execute. There we go. And now all I got to do here is just select top 1. SK, which team won the most matches? Yeah. So that's how I did number 8. So that was pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and comment that out. Okay, 2 more. Okay, ooh, this is getting a little interesting here. What are the team names and number of players in each team whose salary is greater than 100,000? I'm trying to see how that one is. Okay, what are the team names and the number of players? Okay, so it's the team whose salary is greater than, kind of trying to figure out how it's worded here. Okay, so the team name and the number of players. Okay, so it's basically it's going to ask for the team names, the number of players in each team, but only if their salary is greater than 100,000. Okay, so I have the feeling. So let's say this is a good practice. Like, let's say this is being asked in an interview. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to count the number of players here. So select team names, or team name, and count player ID. Count player ID. Okay, so let's see. Player count. So okay. Okay, so from players join, then we got team on teams dot team ID is equal to okay, and then we're gonna group by okay, so I'm just doing it. Okay, so player count. So we look at that. So all of them have 3 players, but we only want those who make more than 100,000. Okay, so we only want those that make more than 100,000. I'm gonna get okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I did that on purpose because I figured I knew I was gonna get something, but this is probably because whenever you use a group by, I'm filtering on the actual groupings of data, not on the individual. So this is where the having clause comes in. Having salary greater than 100,000. Now let's see what happens if yeah, I'm still getting. Hmm. Oh, This is why it is so good to always practice. I think what I did here is, this is why it's always good to practice. Every day you got to practice. Every day. Okay. Okay, let's try that. Group by team name. There we go. Okay, nice. All right. That's where it is. Yeah, I had to put my work, because yeah, that was a good one. That was, whew, that's just an example of why you gotta practice every day. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and order by player count, descending. So I'm guessing that's what it's saying. It's like, so each of these teams, all 3 players make over 100,000. For this team, 2 players make over 100,000, and then so forth. All right, so that's number 9. I think I might actually be able to get through this entire challenge. Ooh, so exciting. Ooh. Okay. So come over here. Let's go ahead and comment that out. And what is the date and the score of the match with match ID number 3? Okay. Okay. So it looks like this is one of those ones where I guess they want to kind of finish off on a more easier note, so. Select match date. So we got match date, and then we got score team 1, score team 2, okay, let's see if I can get here. So that's the match date. Score team 1, score team 2, and I guess if I really wanted to, I could do score team 1 plus score team 2 as combined score. Okay. So yeah, I guess that was pretty straightforward. It's just asking for the date and the score of the match with match ID number 3. Match ID. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So that looks like that wraps up that challenge for Steel Data. So yeah, Steel Data challenge number 2 is sports tournament. Yeah, so very fun challenge. Definitely a good way to hone up on those SQL skills. I guess I'll probably do this challenge again tonight, but see if I can be a little faster. But that's gonna do it for now, guys. That was a lot of fun. Great way to get in that daily SQL practice. It's a nice day out there, but gotta keep my priorities straight. Gotta be able to upskill, work my way towards getting that entry-level position as an analyst, and the only way to do that is to practice, and really be confident. So especially like when you're going into that interview, you can kind of talk your way through the scenario, and even if you don't know the answer, at least kind of explain your reasoning and doing your best that you can. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for now. That was a lot of fun, guys. But I'll be doing more of these challenges and some other SQL stuff, along with some other data analyst related stuff. But I figured just kind of on a cappy note, an even more happier note, this was a dashboard I created yesterday on some roller coaster data. And I might even just make a video on this separately, but just kind of wanted to finish that off, kind of tried to use a color combination that just kind of might remind someone of being at the fair. Yellow and purple, I mean, those seem like amusement park colors, don't they? But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for now, guys. But thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon enough with some more SQL and some more data analyst action. All right, guys, till next time, peace.